Well, one thing that's clear, Hoda, what happened yesterday on Capitol Hill was a total breakdown of security, and that is already leading to multiple investigations, not only into the people behind the violence, of course, but the security failures. What happened? How could this happen at the seat of government at this crucial time? NBC's Justice correspondent Pete Williams is on that angle this morning. Pete, good morning.
Savannah, there are many questions here. Questions about why the police were not better prepared. It may well be that they never thought people would try to enter the Capitol building. The last time there was a storming of the Capitol grounds, anything like this, was during the Vietnam War in 1971. But those demonstrators made a point of sitting on the Capitol steps. They did not try to get in. This crowd turned out to be far more violent, bent not simply on protesting, but on taking over and shutting down the vote count. The second question is why it took so long to get reinforcements inside to control and clear the building. And many of the early people deployed did not have riot or protective gear. What concerns many in law enforcement this morning is that the extremists in these groups may now feel empowered by what happened. They will view this, what happened on Wednesday, as a victory, getting on to the House and Senate floors and forcing a shutdown. Now, the inauguration at the Capitol is just 13 days away, and the events of the past 24 hours will certainly cause a rethinking of those arrangements. Of course, inaugural security is much, much stricter, with a security perimeter extended out for several blocks around the Capitol. People can't get anywhere close without going through metal detectors on Inauguration Day. But the Secret Service and the D.C. police will very likely assess whether they will need an even larger force to protect that ceremony and those people taking part in it, Savannah.
Yeah, I think you have to question all assumptions about security. There are metal detectors in this building, too, Pete, as you well know.
Yeah, but those people bypassed them yesterday.
Well, I guess that's my point, is that if you're willing to do that and there's not a fulsome response, you get inside and you put your feet up on the desk inside the Capitol. What about today? I mean, these protesters, I was here 2 days ago, actually, doing an interview, and even at the airport, I saw tons of protesters who had come. And of course, let's just say, some of them are just protesters. Some were rioters and looters and vandals. But what's the plan for today? I mean, is security such that something like this can't happen again? Are we going to see another kind of march like this?
Well, I think it would be a shock if they were able to get back into the Capitol today. There'll be undoubtedly a larger force at the Capitol today. And I can tell you that the Capitol Police and the Metropolitan Police are now rethinking this. For example, I mean, what we've heard from some law enforcement people is that there was a decision made early on not to confront the protesters, but to allow them to protest. Was that interpreted as just basically let them do what they were going to do? But the clear problem at the Capitol is that the Capitol Police were just so seriously outmanned. It appears that many of the protesters got into the Capitol early, not through a door, but by breaking windows. So that's going to have to be rethought. Are those windows going to have to be reinforced? That's a question for down the road. But you're right. As for today, there's clearly already discussions between the mayor, the police chief, the Capitol Police about different kinds of deployments.
All right, Pete, thank you.